Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but sure, never for me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tail jack, go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tail jack to go and fetch your bang. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Whoa, light that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to say. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tail jack to go and fetch your bang. Try that.
What is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? It's your boys. I am Swank, your host of Sunday Sessions. Right below me is Mr. Ryan Thomas of the Thomas Takes Sports Podcast. What is up, RT?
It's good to be back. Good to be back on the show. Good to be back in the state. Despite the 40-degree weather the week prior, I was experiencing the sunshine of Arizona out in Surprise. Man, Diamondbacks so close yet so far. It's another sport. We're talking football tonight. Bills, Bengals. Let's do it. I'm happy to be here.
Hell yeah. And over here next to me, my brother from another mother, Mr. Scooter Magooter, Scott Reed. What is up, bro?
What's up, Swank? What's up, RT? I was just telling these guys before the show started, fans. I'm anxious, so I think talking about it is going to get me through it. So got my therapy started. Let's do it.
We'll do the vocal stylings of a Pepto-Bismol, my friend, and calm your agitated belly.
Love it.
Meanwhile, this is Sunday Sessions. And I'm cracking my first beer of the day, boys, if you can believe it. Been great. I've been a good boy all day. But right now, god damn it, we're going to talk about this Buffalo Bills game. They are in Cincinnati to face the Bengals, who seem to be our biggest foes right now. I know people would be talking about Kansas City and the rivalry we had. I think we've went over that hump, at least as far as the regular season is concerned, and we've enforced our will on them in their home stadium multiple times at this point. So I'd say as long as we're keeping our head right here level where they're supposed to be, the Bengals are probably that next guy. We got to knock them off the mountain, right? So we're there. It's a big night. A year removed from Damar Hamlin and the big incident on primetime football in Cincinnati. A lot of emotions coming up. If you're new to Sunday Sessions, one of the things that we love about this show is that the inactives come out right when we come live. So they popped right before we went live on that button. And we're going to share those with you breaking. And we'll go through all that and then hit our takes. And we want to hear everything from you guys. We got a lot of regulars and great folk here. So I'll run down the list, and RT, I'm going to shoot it to you, and you tell me who's your biggest surprise on this list, or maybe who's not on this list, and that's your biggest surprise. You know, we do it both ways here. Inactives tonight are Damar Hamlin. He's a healthy scratch. AJ Klein, Balin Spector, Jermaine Affetti, Alec Anderson. Those two are regulars on this list. And Poona Ford is the last inactive on this list. So, RT, when I'm reading these names off to you, what do you make of this? Is this business as usual, or is there somebody on this list that you thought wouldn't be?
Business as usual, with a little bit of a caveat where you have Poona Ford inactive. That means that new signing Linval Joseph should be out there ready to make an impact, as he has virtually everywhere he's been. We got some new signings. Fournette, he's not active quite yet, but Joseph definitely should be tonight. That'll be fun to see how he can impact the run support, the run defense that is kind of been a thorn in our side, you know, in moments in games this season. And then in other moments, they've been able to do fairly well against it. It's kind of been a 50-50 there. So any type of addition with a veteran that's been as good as Joseph has these last few years especially should help that. So Joseph in, Poona Ford out, and onward and upward.
There it is. The man said it. That's I'm going to piggyback on that. That's exactly what I thought. These new moves that we made right before the trade deadline, getting somebody in here, a D tackle was definitely a need for this team, as well as a corner, which we got with Douglas, who isn't on this list either. So I would assume that means that he's active for this game. And we got another guy. He was a free agent pickup. He's not on this list. I think he's there too, but I'm going to leave a little meat on this bone for my brother, Scott. Scott, what do you make of these inactives over here, buddy?
Just exactly what the RT said, except the fact I'll touch on the cornerbacks that are playing against this Cincinnati Bengal wide receiver core. Chase is Chase. Higgins, I think, is being written out of the story, but he's still a big part of the story. So let's not forget about him. He's a big presence. He can be very dangerous. And that's why I think the other guy that we traded for, the only guy we traded for, in Douglas, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw him taking starting reps opposite side of Benford. And in Josh Norman, I think that's the guy you're alluding to, there, Swank, has been brought into this roster tonight. And the first thing I think about that is zone and size. Mm-hmm. Those two are good size guys. I think they're going with put a bigger body on these bigger bodied wide receivers and see if we can't defend them. I think we're going to see a big time different defense than we saw the last couple times we played against the Bengals. A little more control of these good wide receivers that they have. But I like it. I like the fact that they're on the roster already. That tells me that they not only understand the scheme, which is, a zone is a zone. I don't want to tell you it's too difficult, but if you're told to just cover this third of the field or this flat, that's your responsibility. Rasul Douglas is a guy that's been in the league for a long time, so he understands these schemes. So, and Josh Norman, obviously 30 plus years old, understands these schemes. So jump right in there, fellas. Make a difference.
As the show has alluded to many, many times, PFF does not control our lives, but he's ranked the 18th best corner in the league. Douglas is, and that is a good 10 to 15 slots higher than any other corner that's on our team. So throwing him out there and seeing what can happen, to me, Sean McDermott knows what's up. And these guys are so good in this defense anyway, the veterans that he's got on that side of the ball, that I think you can throw a veteran like Douglas in there, and he can be good and he can help. So to me, yeah, perfect. Bring him, drop him, play him. All the chips in the middle of the board tonight. Let's go. You got to. There's nothing to hold back. There's nothing that we should be sitting on. Ram this ball down their throat and play them well on defense. And let's get a win and take over the AFC East again. How do we feel about that, boys?
Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good about that. Based on what we watched today.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
The cards are falling into place. I mean, with the Miami loss, we'll take care of Kansas City business later on when it comes up. Obviously, the perfect scenario would be us fighting for that spot when we play them, but that's a couple weeks away. Miami set us up for a good position now. We just have to take care of our own destiny right now.
Hell yeah. We got so many people in the comments. And don't forget, Sunday Sessions is brought to you by 26 Shirts. Go over to 26shirts.com. Our brethren, Mr. Del Reed, just got the 2023 Fan of the Year, man. We just had him on the show a couple weeks ago. He is the Bills Mafia Don, the godfather, co-godfather of the creation of the Bills Mafia. And we're so excited to be part of the Buffalo Fan Base Network that contributed to all of that as well. But check that out. He won Super Bowl tickets, man. It was a cool thing. Stevie Johnson threw him a ball. He caught the second one. That was good. But it's yeah, we're proud of our guy, man. And he's one that deserves it. So congratulations to Dell. But get your ass over to 26shirts.com and buy everything you can, man. It's for a great cause. We got Paulette Brown in the comments saying, I just had surgery and laying in bed watching the Bills game. Let's go. So Paulette, man, speedy recovery. Glad you're hanging out with us. We got Casey Nicole saying, directed several people to that beautiful webpage for FLX Mafia gear. Nicely done.
Sweet.
Doing that right here. We got our boy Chris Christian. We got Frank Mullen. Let's go Buffalo. We got Uncle James. Let's see.
What's up?
We got Debbie Emerton. We got John's. Go Bills. It's game day. We got Robbie from Let's Talk 716 Sports. What's up, Robbie? And we got Doug. Disappointed that Puna hasn't shown out more. Me too, man. I was really excited about that pickup. I don't really have an explanation for it other than he's undersized and the other guys are out playing him. I mean, that's it, right? Scooter, like anything else?
That's what happens.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a guy to have on a practice squad, though.
Yeah. Depth is depth. Yep. We got Rob Mullen, our content creator from 247buffandemonium.com. Go check out all of his great analytics and amazing write-ups. He says Douglas trade was a legit steal. Hell yeah. I know people were upset about that third rounder we gave up for Douglas. I'm not really sweating that. We're getting the other one from the Edmonds trade anyway, or the Edmonds whatever. The release.
Yeah, that compensation pick. And
yep.
I mean, they're moving down a round and a half. If that, Green Bay is probably going to be picking in the top 15 of that round, of the fifth round. So they moved down a round and a half to get a really good corner that they really needed. That's under contract next year, actually.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it.
No, it's beautiful. I love it. And it's a position that we absolutely needed some help at, right? I mean, we're limping through the midway point of the season here with some big Pro Bowl names that are not on this roster and still being competitive. I know it was rocky there for a couple games, but Jesus, man, I think that's a huge testament to the way Coach McDermott motivates and schemes these guys in defense to get the job done, even if it's lacking. And it truly is the next man up. Let's see. We got so many cool people here. Thank you so much. Scooter, we're going to this game. It's 7-11, man. We might go a little past 7:30. I've been missing you guys. I want to talk a little bit. We got an 8:20 kickoff here. But get all of your questions and comments and concerns and, whatever, praises, whatever the hell you want to put in this little comment box. Let us know. We'll throw it up and discuss it. But Scooter, what is your biggest concern going into Cincinnati tonight for this primetime Buffalo Bills Cincinnati Bengals game?
I think the hype is something that is pretty significant considering what happened last year, considering Cincinnati's just coming off a huge win against the 49ers, and that the fact that they're playing on home and in prime time. There's a lot going on for Cincinnati right now. And I think that momentum potentially, I don't think they're as good as the tape shows against the 49ers. I think the momentum is something that we have to slap in the face right off the bat, make a statement, whether it's our first drive or a 3-and-out on defense. But I think the hype right now, it's a big prime time. Everybody's watching. And it's time that the Bills show up to these kind of games and finally win an AFC conference game that we need so desperately to do.
So you're going with the hype train, huh? You worried about the DeMar Hamlin effect? Is that part of that?
He's not going to be there, but I think there's a lot of those players that were on the field last year at this time that are gonna, those memories are gonna come back. It happens. It's the nature of the beast. It's being human. So I think potentially right off the bat, but McDermott and the coaching staff need to keep these guys focused and keep their heads straight, because obviously emotions can take over. You could get a flagrant foul, roughing the passer, unnecessary roughnesses, because these emotions are so overwhelming sometimes. The coaches need to make sure that they're alert as well to get these guys off the field when they have to be off, not doing any of this extracurricular crap.
Discipline, man. And that's something that McDermott has really, really harped on through his tenure here in Buffalo. And I'd say this season a little lacking in some respects, more than usual at least. RT, man, what do you think? What is DeMar Hamlin returning to Cincinnati? I know he's not suiting up. I know he's not going to be on the field, but the impact that has, the weight that has, do you think that's a concern for these guys?
Concern. I mean, that I don't want to say it's a concern, because that means that it's a negative. I'm going to turn this on its head and put this spin on it as a positive, because I know when I'm watching this game, I'll get the flashbacks to where I was when I was watching it last year when DeMar Hamlin went down. And if I'm a fan, whatever you want to call me, content, whatever, thinking about that, then these guys will too. And to echo Scott's sentiments, these guys are human. Stephon Diggs, he's got blood running through his veins, just like all three of us do, just like the viewers tuning in. They're all human, and they understand the risk as well, just as well as anyone, that comes with putting those shoulder pads on and putting those the helmet on with the logo, and I think they will carry that to the game. But once the kickoff is, that ball's first kicked, rather, this is going to be all that's going to go away. It will be game time, and it will be time to put up and put out their best effort. And I think what makes this game so interesting is that both teams are almost the same type of team. And when you see two helmets clashing together, two teams that are very similar, it creates a very fun and exciting dynamic football game that I'm really pumped for. I mean, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, for my money, they're two of the best quarterbacks in the league. And this is what we'll be tuning in to see. This is what football is all about.
Hell yeah. There was some Twitter videos of DeMar going out early and greeting all the guys on the Bengals sideline during warm-ups. These guys are professionals, man. I mean, obviously, like we're all saying, and this is the last I'll say about it, but it's like it's going to hit them in some respect. You're in the same spot. It was a horrible night. It's a brother of theirs, but he's there. That's the point to be celebrated. And they got some stuff to prove on the field. I think it's a motivator more than it is a deterrent. So I just wanted to put that out there because I know that's like the thing, that's the hot thing that was on everybody's mind and all that this week. So I'm glad we got it. And now moving forward, RT, man, what do you want to see? What do you want to see out of this Buffalo Bills defense with these new parts coming in here? What do they got to do to slow down that offense of the Cincinnati Bengals?
Well, I think Cincinnati is going to try to spread things out as far as 3 wide receiver sets. You know, they got 3 really good ones, Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. As well, you know, I do believe Joe Burrow hasn't been what he was in terms of how he attacks a defense in previous seasons. Previous years, he'd throw 20-yard plus passes. This year, he's almost at the bottom in terms of 20-yard plus pass attempts. Up until last week, of course, they started to spread it a little bit more, but maybe Cincinnati tries to stretch the field a little bit more than they have in recent weeks, try to test that new look Buffalo Bills secondary, especially a corner with Douglas and Benford out there for the first time together. And you know, I wouldn't be one to shy away from looking past Joe Mixon either. You know, as they try to close the game out. You know, if you know the time of possession becomes a factor, which I think it will in this game for both sides at some point throughout the game, rather. So realistically, you know, I think that this is a game where Buffalo's defense is going to have to be very physical early and let them know to an extent of what we talked about a little bit ago, that they're not going into this game with any distractions. They're going into this game with everything that's taken place thus far this season behind them, 0-0 heading into this one, and looking to get 1-0 by the end of the night. And I think that to do that, they got to start physical, and they got to be physical fast as well.
100%, man. I mean, we're getting that more aggressive side of these parts in this defense with Sean out there calling plays. So I'm hoping the same. They just stomp this out. I'm really worried about them trying to get something going with Mixon. I know it was a little banged up earlier in the week. He practiced in full Thursday and Friday. If they can get anything going with them to soften up that the front 4 there and the linebacking crew, and then they got to start cheating in, and then they start trying to pick us apart down the field, that to me is going to prove problematic to start it off. So I'm hoping we can stomp out this running game right off the get and get Joe back there and make him throw some passes. He's good at it, but I think this DB crew and the safety crew back there, they can handle their business. So let's see what we got. Scooter, what do you got for me, brother? What do we got to do to slow this offense down, man?
Yeah, it was a Mixon with a chest injury, so who knows how many pops to the chest he's going to be willing to take, and who knows how many offensive plays are going to set up where he has to go through the middle of that field to run into these 300-pound defensive tackles that we have. But you're right, Swank. Those linebackers start creeping up a little more to stop him. Burrow, Chase, and Higgins are really good, and so is Boyd in the middle of that field, which we saw at the beginning of last year during this game. They started tearing us apart in the middle past the linebackers. So, yeah, my biggest concern, my biggest thing that the Bills have to focus on, stop the run early and bring these big bodies like you did with Rasal, Douglas, and Norman, and just be physical. They're going to come physical. Cincinnati's going to come, and they're going to be physical. We have to match it or outdo them.
100%. I mean, you know, you heard all these rumors at the wide receiving room from Cincinnati. Heard about the Bills running their mouth. You know, all these fictitious motivators.
Old news. You know, like just trying to drudge up old news.
Yeah, dude.
Move on, right?
Yeah. Give me a break, dude. Like, I don't know what player is coming out being like, the snow is the only reason we lost that game. That game was a shit show from the beginning. Like, so I don't know. Maybe you saw some of our tweets. I probably tweeted that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah. You know, but
I honestly think it did have something to do. I mean, it looked like Bills players were slipping and sliding on their childhood slip and slide. I don't know if the cleats were the wrong cleats.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is a legitimate I think you go back and watch that game as I have, you'd say, why were the Bills players slipping all over the field when Cincinnati looked like they were running on, pristine grass?
Yeah.
It was very, very strange.
Was it your
in that
tweets,
regard.
Ryan, that they were going off of them? They said some of the players were going off. It sounds like
I
they were
was
complaining.
I was tweeting about the cleats. I was.
There you go.
I really was. I was tweeting. It's like it looked like guys. Tremaine Edmonds, and I'm going to throw his name out there. He's getting dinked and dunked over all day long. To Scooter's point, and he gets knocked on his butt, and his leg goes up in the air, and all you see is just white on his cleat. Like there's no, like the snow was like trapped in his cleat, which if you don't dig those out, then you're not going to have your footing. You could say that about baseball. You could say that about football. It sounds crazy, but you go back. I know most Bills fans don't want to ever go back to watch that game, but if they did, I'm positive they would see that too. I'm not the only one.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. Like, this is our stadium, man. Like, you gotta know what the forecast is and what to prepare for. Like, and they didn't really look any better after like the half. Like, so you didn't go change them when you went in the locker room. Like,
it started to snow more at the second half. And that too. That the snow played a part, but I think the snow played a part because of the cleats that they were wearing. I don't know if they were crappy Reeboks or I don't know what they were, but
came off the Payless shelf. Yeah. We got a couple questions coming in, fellers. Lisa Johns, our girl Lisa Johns, says, do you think they'll play Fournette tonight? What do you guys think?
Oh, he's not on the roster right now. He's still on the practice squad. He hasn't been pulled up.
Practice squad.
Yep. So you will not see Leonard Fournette tonight.
I know one thing. Yeah, I'm excited for when we do. Yeah. That's a move that I really like. I've always liked him, and I'm happy that they were able to bring in a bruiser like him.
Has anyone heard any news on Damian Harris? I know he was on the 4-week IR, but I haven't heard anything. So my gut feeling says that there's something that has to do with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But he knows how to catch the ball in the backfield. He knows how to put the ball in the end zone from the goal line. He's big, solid, and he could be someone that can wear that game down at the end of the third and into the fourth quarter, for sure.
Dude came in.
He's a closer.
Shape. He is a closer. His legs are like tree trunks. The dude is like ready to go from these videos that we see. And running back, as we've talked about before, is one of those positions where, you can just slide him in most times, man. Like, it's not a huge playbook compared to other positions on the offense. So I would look for him probably in the next couple of weeks, if not next week, the week after, maybe after the bye, who knows? But I think he'll get up to speed, the caliber player that he is, as long as he's been in the NFL. He'll get something done. Harold Fuller wants to know, do you think we'll see a Bills no huddle? RT, what do you think? We going tempo?
I think they're going up tempo, and it goes to last week. What I loved about last week's game, and everybody that looked at last week's game, did it end well? It did not. It did not end. I mean, we won, but was it a nail biter? Was it one that had you feeling like you had an apple in your chest? Yes, it was. But 95% of that game against Tampa Bay was perfect. It was beautiful. There was nothing I would change about it other than the last 2 minutes or so. And most of that has to do with the offense, where, it was up tempo. We saw Stephon Diggs make plays, but we also saw Gabe Davis, Dalton Kincaid finally, having his breakout game, and James Cook as well. And I think the running game, to the point of Fournette, is going to get better. So if they play that similar style, Khalil Shakir as well, getting reps out of the slot, I think that we will start to see them run an up-tempo type offense where they weren't running 12 personnel as much last week as they had previous weeks because Knox was not there. But they almost looked like they had the right 3 wide receivers, and they sure as heck have the right tight end out there in a more dynamic form of fashion. Although I love Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid is just a freak athlete at the position. So I think we will see up-tempo as far as their offense goes, and I think that's what they need to keep Cincinnati on their toes.
I mean, it was just so clear last week, like night and day. Those first 3 quarters, it was like, this is our team. And Scooter, I got to give you a lot of credit, man. You called it. Forced their hand. they had to play 11 personnel with the injuries, and all of a sudden you saw this offense come to life and be what it's supposed to be, what it looked like last year, what the potential is in the playmakers that we have. So what do you think? Up tempo, same as before, but keep the foot on the gas. Is that what we're going for tonight?
Yeah, I know. I mentioned it for our defense. We got to smack this offense in the mouth, and it holds true to the offense. It needs to be happening on both sides of the ball. You can't have one side all high tempo and the other side trying to slow the game down. We saw it last week. Keep the foot on the gas. Josh Allen was efficient, passing over 70%. It wasn't just like it got rid of the ball in under 2 seconds. Very fast paced, very high efficient offense. We could have and should have scored a lot more than what we did. But it was nice to see. It was refreshing. We saw glimpses of it throughout the season. And when they did do it then, it was successful. So hopefully it's one of those things that, pride aside, Dorsey, go with what's working, go with what's rolling. And again, this is a game where you need to come in and set a tempo and keep that tempo.
Ooh, that's what it is. We need Dors to suck it up and call the game that needs to be called, man. I mean, I was the biggest proponent of him. It just seems like this 12 personnel experiment, work it in here and there, but primarily 11 personnel. I am a believer. You cannot scoff at what happened on the field last week for the first 3 quarters. You can scoff at that fourth quarter and how you can tell, to me, that Sean McDermott has no faith in Ken Dorsey's play calling on a 4th and short at midfield. To me, that was not something of the past. And this is something that you saw all day today in the games today, where big teams at the top of the AFC are going for it on 4th and short on as far as their own 35 and a 4th and short situation.
NFC as well.
Yeah, Philadelphia
every week.
On the 30, their own 30 or something today.
Right.
It's something that you have to be good at, and you have to have consistent pressure on that line and dominance to know that you can pick up those 1 or 2 yards when you can, when you have to. And Josh Allen being able to roll right or sneak out or see it as he does and pick up those yards if he has to is a big part of this offense that we finally got to see last week as well. So moving that way, 7:28. We're gonna roll a little bit past 7:30 here. Scooter, with the up-tempo offense, who are you looking to shine today? What do you want to see out of this offense on the Buffalo Bills sideline?
I'm going back to the playoff loss against the Chiefs. I'm going back to the playoff loss against Cincinnati. The one name you hear all the time, the visual you see all the time is Diggs, the hands on the head, the throwing a fit on the sidelines. He's going to be the factor tonight. He's going to be that up-tempo guy. FanDuel, I have 7+ catches, over 110 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Mark it, put it on your FanDuel, guys, make some money tonight. But the up-tempo is going to be Diggs. It is. It's not going to be Josh Allen relies on him the whole time. I think he's just going to make the most out of his opportunities, and the ball's going to be spread around, and I think he's just going to take off.
Simple as that, huh?
That simple.
Simple. Okay. All right. RT, what do you got, buddy?
I think Dalton Kincaid is going to go from a bachelor's degree at tight end university to a master's degree to potentially a PhD. You get my point there. I think first half he's going to be featured. By the end of the game, he's going to blow up. I think this is the one factor of this offense that has not been fully tapped into yet. We saw it last week. But he is a difference maker. He is a player that changes everything. I think Dalton Kincaid changes the run game. And the biggest knock on him coming out of college, for God knows why, was that he's not a great blocker. I've seen Dalton Kincaid put the body on some people. So I think Dalton Kincaid is going to have a huge night tonight. And I think he's going to continue to be featured in this offense more and more and more each week as the season wears on. And I wouldn't be shocked if he was one of the most targeted receivers in tonight's game. Second to Diggs, maybe second to, Diggs, Davis, couple those in that trio. I think all three of them could have good nights tonight, but I really do believe that Dalton Kincaid is going to put the league on notice that he belongs in that conversation as one of the best young, pure athletic tight ends in the league. He's a special player.
Mhm.
I like it. It was his coming out party for sure last week. Everything that we wanted, a big bodied beast. I mean, dude was very, very good last week. And I want to see him be a staple. I don't know how you could look at the tape last week and not say that is absolutely got to be something that needs to continue and be grown.
He's always open. He's always open. He's 7'11". He always catches the ball.
Yep.
Just get it to him. That's all that needs to be done.
and to see how he reacted after the game with how happy he was, and that's contagious. He's going to want that feeling again. He was ecstatic. That was a huge game for him, a huge game for the Buffalo Bills, and I'd love for it to happen again for sure.
Hell yeah. Casey Nicole with some breaking news says, rumor is J.A. was missing from some pregame stuff Kyle Allen is throwing to wide receivers. I'm looking on Twitter here when I saw that one come in, and there's some sideline reporters saying that he still wasn't out there for pregame warmups about a half an hour ago. And they said last year that this happened once, and it was after suffering an injury where he didn't come out and warm up. So my guess is that they're probably just saving him. They don't want to wear out his arm. He did have a little shoulder stuff last week, and has kind of been fighting that for a little while. But I don't know. That's about it. If anybody else sees anything, come on at it. He cannot be a scratch. I don't think you're going to keep that dude off the field.
You got to take this into consideration. When you're out there warming up, you're throwing the ball every 2 seconds, every 3 to 4 seconds. So he's getting a lot of ripping of that shoulder while he's warming up. You get in a game time situation, how long does it play last? You know what I mean? How many seconds is between each play? So it's probably just what it is. Don't go out there and throw 50 balls in 20 seconds. Take it easy.
Yep. And that's another, great point that the comment, the person that threw that comment out there. Okay. Yeah. He's in the back. He's putting some icy hot, maybe some CBD oil or something on his shoulder or whatnot. But this should not be I don't think this needs to be a game that Josh Allen chucks the ball 40 yards in the air every 3 passes. This should be a methodical, slow burn of an offense. Yes, up tempo, but West Coast up tempo. Like I want to see short, intermediate, let the guys achieve the rack that Josh Allen even said last week he knows they can all get, and let those guys make the plays for him. And I think that that's a huge key to tonight that would actually help Allen as well, playing through the injury that he is.
Great point. Great point on that. He's getting rid of the ball under 2 seconds, so he's not throwing the ball 50 yards down the field. So that West Coast style fast-paced offenses and the yards after catch is exactly what we might be seeing tonight.
I'll go ahead and break this real quick. Josh Reed, reporter for Buffalo Channel 4 News, I believe, right?
Oh,
Isn't he? Yeah, sports director.
Channel 4 WIVD.
He is that voice and those call letters, man. That's it right there. Josh has got a video of not only the true Josh Allen, JA-17, and he's leading everybody out onto the field. No problem. All is well, fam. So don't be worrying. For me, man, there's one guy that I don't think we've really touched on, that all of it, great points, all of it want to come true, balanced attack, get it out there, control the tempo. I love it. I love it. I love it. Khalil Shakir had a hell of a game last week, man. He came out and he caught some balls. It was probably the game of his career so far. And you know what? I want to see a little bit more of that. I want to see it mixed up with these guys. Gabe catching balls. We talked about not putting everything on Stephon Diggs' shoulders. I love it when Stephon Diggs takes control of a game. I also love that he doesn't have to. If you're so worried about X, Y, and Z, our boy Kincaid, you're worried about Gabe, you're worrying about James Cook, you're worrying about all these other factors, Stephon can eat. Stephon might be able to find a little crack or crevice to sneak through, and all of a sudden you're looking at 6 points on a 35-yard bomb, and I love all that, but I think Shakir can be one of those dudes that's another safety net for Josh Allen, taking what they're giving him, getting these little 7-yard outs. I mean, he looked like a beast. He looked like the slot receiver that we wanted last week, and I'll take as many of them as I can get. So
he looked like a dude that should have been a 2nd or 3rd round pick, and instead was a fifth
absolutely,
pick.
absolutely.
And how about this? I got to throw this out there to what you said, Swank. The fact that Shakir and Kincaid, to my point, and even Davis, man, Gabe Davis was putting some NBA street moves out on that gridiron last week. He looked phenomenal in terms of the rack yardage that he was piling up. But the fact that those moments happened, and you did see multiple times Stephon Diggs again and again and again silence this stupid notion that he's a selfish player by patting Kincaid on the head, rubbing his hair and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what this team needs. When those moments happen and we see that is what makes this team special. And that's what's made them a perennial, Super Bowl contender for the last 3-4 years. I think when those good moments happen and the team bonds and feeds off each other the way that they do, you're only expected to see good things from there. And Diggs is, I think, outside of Allen, of course, being the QB, one of the biggest leaders of this team, bar none.
Oh, yeah.
I say it every time I see him on the sideline, hyping everybody up, being in somebody's face, celebrating with somebody, and also keeping them level. Like, what a cancer!
Right.
What a cancer this guy is. Like, what a horrible teammate this guy is.
I just, I don't know why any team would want him. I don't understand.
They voted this
like
clown a captain, dude. Like, I can't believe it.
I posted that post a couple months ago where he was, jumping on Allen's shoulders, and I'm like, yeah, that looks like a guy that really doesn't want to be here.
Hates it,
it looks
man.
like there's some sort of tension between the two.
Really,
I don't know.
dude. It's just friction. Crazy
Palpable.
friction. I can taste it. Let's see. Rob says Shakir in the slot and 11 personnel works. Best yak this season from any of the Bills wide receivers. Then Rob says yak, yak, yak. And he says, yeah, I said it. And you know what? I'll give it to him.
Name, I'm over the track. Yeah, I said it. What you need to do is get back.
I mean, spreading them out, being diverse, not being so predictable. Can we get rid of this goddamn shotgun draw, please? Can never see it again, right? We say it all the time. Scooter started chiming the bell for that one weeks ago. This is the stupidest thing. Like, to play multiple times.
It's not setting anything up.
No, it's
I
doing
haven't
nothing.
seen a pass come from it yet.
No.
Especially when he's banged up,
Yeah.
right? Especially when he's not healthy, and the whole league knows that he's not. So if the whole league knows that he's not, any defense, but any defensive lineman or linebacker that has no name at all wants to stake their claim that, hey, I might not be a big name player, but I took Josh Allen out of a game.
Yeah.
And if anybody says that that's not a thing in this league anymore, you need to watch a different sport. That's still a part of this game.
100%.
It always will be.
100%. All right, fellas. We're rolling in here. We're going to do our X factors. Then we're going to hit a bold prediction and our score prediction. So play along in the comments. We're going to start out with X factors. I'm going to go right next door here to my brother Scooter. Scooter, what is your X factor for today's game?
Something I didn't mention in the conversation we had before. Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson can get to the quarterback. So the X factors, the trenches, our left tackle, our right tackle, Brown and Dawkins. They need to have their head on a swivel. Those guys can beat you with a bull rush, and they can also do the spin and the rip. So mind your P's and Q's, guys.
Trenches from Mr. Reed. Down south to RT. What do you got, my buddy, for an X factor?
My X factor is the linebacker core of the Buffalo Bills. Terrell Bernard, Dorian Williams, whoever is lined up out there. We know that Dorian Williams was out there, and then they'd kind of, move and shake him, put him on the bench for a minute, put somebody else out there. Largely, though, I think those two guys, I'll just throw those two names out there as the X factors of today's game. I mentioned it in the last, half hour. You go back to last season where they played Cincinnati, and Tremaine Edmonds was a liability just as much as Ryan Gosling was in pass coverage. And remember the Titans, if you guys remember that movie. So putting him, out there, he's not on the team anymore. We got Terrell Bernard, who this kid has been a phenomenal player for this team. He's speedy, he's fast, he has a dynamic awareness about his game that always finds the ball, whether it's a swat or an interception or finding the ball carrier. Something that Jermaine Edmonds didn't always have. And I think Dorian Williams is an old school outside linebacker. No gloves on, bare hands. Not many people have brought that up yet. I noticed it when he was in training camp. Like, this guy's not even wearing gloves. And I guarantee once December comes, he won't be wearing gloves either. So this dude's for real. And I'm really excited to see how they play tonight. It's a big night for those two. And I think that they're both going to perform very well.
I like it. I like it a lot. For me, my X factor of this here game, I think I'm going to go back to the offensive side of the ball here. And I think Dalton Kincaid, man. I think the tight end play, getting the middle of that field loosened up, getting some good grabs, keeping that ball moving, them chains going. I want to see what he can do. Put 2 solid games back to back and start building that career that we want you to have, and being hopefully the next Kelsey type tight end. And get us another stud on this offense. Get this dude so comfortable that nobody can ignore him. That's what I want. I want to see a great, solid game out of Mr. Kincaid, and maybe his second TD. Why not? Maybe his second career TD, right in Cincinnati,
or third.
Hey, let's double down.
What we're looking for is consistency. We would like to see that.
Yeah. Yes. That was very middle school teacher of you right there. Like, what we're looking for.
I remember reading that on a report card at time or two.
We need consistency out of Mr. Thomas.
We need some consistent attendance your senior year. No.
Good luck.
Sorry, it's over. I got 1 foot out the door.
I already passed, bro. Let's see. X Factors from the Fam. We got Debbie Emerton, X Factor QB1. That's a great one. 100%. Rob Mullen, X Factor Gabe, short crossers against the blitz is potential for big plays. I like it. Yep. Lisa John says J.A. hurdles for a TD. Hell yeah. Harp Lee says Cook running north and south is the X factor. Harold Fuller says Dane Jackson. Oh, it's interesting. All right. Just on an offshoot related note, Spin0481 on YouTube says Dak is so bad. I haven't seen the score.
Terrible.
Yeah, oh God, dude. They were hanging for the first half.
This one. Yeah, they were. And when Tom Brenneman and Greg Olson were on the call for that game, right? Mm-hmm. The game's about to start, and Tom Brenneman said what was the dumbest line I've heard him say ever. He's usually really good, but he said, this by far is the biggest quarterback matchup of the week, Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott. I'm like,
what?
What planet are you on? You know what week it is? It's Bills versus Bengals. It's Allen and Burrow. It's
my God.
Two of the 3 best quarterbacks in the league. Jalen Hurts, though, is a top 5 guy. Make no mistake about it. I think he's better than Lamar Jackson. Yeah. But come on, Tom. No.
I mean, I don't even know if I'd put it second. I think I had a better time watching Mahomes and Tua earlier.
Too. That's a good one too.
At least there was more potential in that game.
I'd put even C.J. Stroud and Baker Mayfield ahead of Dak.
That's hard for me to do, dude. That's really hard for me to do, but sure, I believe you. Let's see. Rob says chunk plays. Lisa says Micah for a pick 6. You guys are killing it in the comments. Thank you so much. Dr. Bruce McKellar, another content creator over at 247buffandemonium.com, putting out the injury report. Check it out all the damn time every week. He says X Factor Von Miller gets 2 sacks. Boom. Interesting. I like it. Let's go to
We need it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Let's head on over to our bold prediction, guys. Who did I start with last time? Scooter, right? RT. What do you got for a bold prediction tonight?
Bold prediction. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think this is going to be a game where we are going to see both offenses play really, really well. I know I talked about the defense. I think the defense of the Bills will have their moments in this game. I think the defense of the Bengals will have their moments in this game. But ultimately, by the time the score sheet is completed, I think we'll see a high-scoring affair. I'll go my score prediction in a little bit, but I think that is part of what I'm saying there. Yeah.
All right.
High-scoring shootout.
High-scoring shootout. All right. Scoot, what do you got, buddy?
It's my FanDuel bet. Diggs, 110 plus receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 plus catches. He will be. That's my bold prediction. Is he's going to take off tonight.
So 7 catches, 2 TDs, and 110 plus yards.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys are watching at home, and I'm going to give you a little inside baseball here, the Reed boys, they go over by 1. They get a little too excited, and they do 1 over, and then they're like, I lost this 16-game parlay by 1 team. So just take 1 off of anything he just said, and you're going to be dead nut on.
There you go.
Just like I did with the futures betting that the. I can't believe I'm going to say this on the air.
Oh, I can't wait.
I bet that the Cleveland Browns would win the AFC North. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did last year.
Said it.
Yeah, I cut that one off, dude. I gave you a yeah. I said it, but I just said yeah.
Lost that bet by 1 division, and it was Cleveland. It's like, what? Was I drinking too much blue light that night at the casino? Like, what was I thinking?
Maybe you switched to blue, man. You just had 1 blue instead of that last blue light. Yeah,
1 blue did me in. Oh God!
My bold prediction for tonight is I think as you said, both defenses are going to have their times tonight for sure. I was watching NFL Network this morning, and it said to sit number 1 the Buffalo defense against the Bengals offense, and number 2 the Bengals defense against the Bills offense. So, I mean, this is one of those games where, like, it feels to me like the Miami game. It feels like whoever blinks first is going to get that little edge, and that's going to dictate the game, right? So, for me, my bold prediction is that our defense does come through, and I think that you're going to see our cornerbacks step up. This is the midpoint of the season. I think you're going to see 2 picks on Joe Burrow tonight. That's my bold prediction.
Ooh, like it.
I love it.
Hey, he looks like Macaulay Culkin didn't do drugs and grew up. That's what he looks like, okay? And I can't stand it. So I'm getting sick of his fashion model BS, man. We're the only guys with fashion models on our team, all right? So, kiddies in the comments, we're going to hit our score predictions and our final thoughts, and we're going to get to our rituals, man. Thank you so much for hanging with us tonight, and we appreciate all you guys tuning in to Sunday Sessions on the Buff Fan Base Network. Scooter Magooter, hit me with your score prediction, buddy.
I'm going less homer blowouts like I have in the past. Last week I kept it close. This week's going to be close, 28-24, and it's going to be tight the whole time.
Nice. 28-24 Bills. RT, what do you got, buddy?
I don't know if I accidentally sent my notes for the show to Scott. That was the exact score prediction that I had.
Wow.
So I'm going to change it. I'm going to go 31-27 Buffalo. That's what I'm going to go with. I think Tyler Bass is going to play a factor in this game positively. This is if there's a get right game for anybody, I think it's Tyler Bass, to be honest with you. I've been kind of shocked at he's been very inconsistent these last couple weeks. Outside of that, the guy's been one of the best kickers in the NFL. So a get right game for Tyler Bass. I think we're going to see him kick some late field goals and inch Buffalo away from Cincinnati and allow us to get that W.
Oh yeah, I like it. I'm going to stay with my prediction. We didn't have the K-Gun this last week. It was Halloween for the Twins, and then I fell ill. So the K-Gun will be back this Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when we hopefully are talking about Buffalo Bills victory. But we sent each other our predictions. Scott stayed true. Jerry actually picked 31-17 Buffalo Bills. He thinks it's going to be a little more heavy-handed than the others, the rest of us, I suppose. I'm going 32-28 Bills in a tight one, but still a high-scoring game. I think the network's going to get everything they want out of this game. I think it's going to be fun, and you're going to see a lot of scoring, and you're going to see a lot of big plays. But I think you're going to see the better team win in the Buffalo Bills.
Nice.
So we got David saying 31-30 Bills. Man, he's keeping it squeakier than me. God damn, that's going to give me a heart attack. Why don't you put that in OT, man? 38-31, Dr. Bruce. John says 28-24 Bills. Chris Christian says 34-27 Bills. And our girl Lisa says, let's go Buffalo. Guys, it's been a great night. It's been so fun doing this with you guys. I was itching for it. I feel like, it's been a full week since I've done a show now, and usually we've done 2 by now. So it's weird, but I was looking forward to tonight. So thank you guys for keeping the comments coming and the viewership up. We're going to do our final thoughts and let you get to your game. So, RT, give us your final thought and tell the people where they can find you, brother.
Of course. Thanks for having me. Of course. I say that every week. I know I'm a regular, but you guys are having me on your show. So I gotta, it's a collective, we're team here, but it all starts dating back that first invite a few years back, and it's just continued. So each one, I gotta thank you guys for having me. Of course, my final thoughts on this game, enjoy this as the pinnacle of the sport and know that Buffalo is a part of that conversation. And I know fans want to be more than just a part of the conversation, as do I. But we're here week 9 playing the Cincinnati Bengals, 2 quarterbacks that are the upper echelon of the position. And it's the game's most important position. So Joe Burrow, he's had a great college career. He's had all the success in the National Football League, but I think America loves red, white, and blue, and they love an underdog, especially one that wears the red, white, and blue. So Josh Allen didn't have the success at Wyoming, or didn't have the success in college, rather, that Burrow had at LSU, obviously. And I think that is a part of this as well. I think that is a part of Allen, going into that stadium that he played in last year and righting the wrong of finishing it. We didn't get to finish it the last time we played due to the circumstances. And I think tonight, rather than a distraction, this is as big a motivator, I think, as any prior to a game. So that's what has me feeling like the Bills are going to hit the ground running in this one and get the victory ultimately. So, yeah, that's my final thought on the game. Of course, Thomas Take Sports Podcast is on at 8 o'clock at night on Wednesdays. A little bit of a hump day football show. So you guys tune in Wednesdays at 8. All things Bills, of course, recapping the action, previewing next week's game as well against Denver. I'm looking forward to, hopefully, to Swank's point, doing that after a Bills win tonight against Cincinnati.
That's goddamn right. Yeah, go follow our boy RT. And RT, man, you can thank us all you want, man, but you're part of the fam. So that's all it is.
part of the fan base. Shout out to Del
right.
Reed too, once again, man. That was Buffalo News front page sports stuff. Literally, that was great. I loved it.
Deserves it all, man. He's a great guy.
He does.
Gooter Magooter, hit him with your final thought, brother.
I got 2 things, guys. 24/7 Buff Fandemonium, the group page. We do a live thread, game day thread. So go join us. Leave your comments, all that stuff. We like to have that conversation. Second thing is it is going to be in our face tonight. We are going to be reminded of what happened last year. And just I'm a nurse as a profession, so I've already got the training for CPR, know how to use the AEDs, all that stuff. I encourage anyone that's even thought about it, those that don't know and afraid to do it, just do it. You could save lives. Even if you're helping someone in a situation like that, you're still part of saving lives. And like I said, it's gonna be in our faces today. It's gonna be a reminder. We're gonna have our feelings about it, but at the end of the day, it's a football game. Love the ones, love your friends, your family, keep them close, and just go get trained for sure. You can save a life.
Hell yeah. I just threw the group game day thread link in the comments, so click on that if you don't know how to access it. We keep it going throughout the whole game. You too. Love you guys like brothers, man. Thanks for doing this with us on a nice Sunday right before kickoff on this Buffalo Bills football Sunday. Listen, man, appreciate it. Appreciate every game that you get. We get a short season. I mean, it feels really long in the beginning. I feel like you're so like you're anticipating it and you're thinking like, here we are. All of a sudden I looked at the Chiefs record and I was like, oh my God. like we're over halfway, dude. Like what happened? Where I feel like we still haven't hit our stride as a team yet, and it's halfway through the season right now. Like, I don't know. So it goes by quick, just enjoy these games. And, who knows how it could sway in the future, but we got a primetime game, center stage. Josh Allen is damn near undefeated in these scenarios. Fun fact, Burrow is completely defeated on Sunday Night Football. So 0-9, I believe, is his record. And, let's make it 0-10, man. Have a good time. Have a cup of pops. Go Bills. It's a beautiful thing. Don't forget, you can check us out for Sunday sessions about an hour before kickoff every Sunday, usually, maybe sometimes Monday. And we'll break down your inactives and the latest takes and bold X Factor, score predictions, all that good stuff. You guys keep the comments coming. We're part of the Buff Fan Base Network and sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com and spend all of your money. And with that being said, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go